Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
We have completed the marketing to RO. I lead to code and design to build an audience model. So the rest of the models which are left out is procure, to pay and order to cash. So we will see the procure to pay now, the entire purchasing process, how the purchasing happens in an organization and how our NetSuite ERP will actually help in leveraging this purchasing process. So the navigation for the purchasing is transactions. Purchases enter purchase orders. This is to enter the purchase order. We already created a vendor. We have created items. And now we can create a purchase order by selecting the vendor and the item. And I'll show you how to do that. But the items you showed us CSV import. You just showed us the CSV import of the items. But for the items you did not show step by step. We will see the items, how to create them today. Because items is important. Of course important. So we will do that. It's not that we are skipping these things, but I'll show you how these things work. But before we jump onto that, I just wanted to see if advanced procurement is enabled for us. Give me a second. I think it is not enabled. So let's check it out. Once we enable the advanced procurement, that is when we will have the blanket purchase orders. I have enabled the purchase contract and the blanket purchase orders. So this is a part of the advanced procurement module which is usually not covered as part of the functional training that we do. But then I have enabled the purchase contract and blanket purchase orders as well, just to show you how these things work when we are doing with the purchase orders. So now what we'll do is, first of all, we will check what are the different types of items and how do we create each one of them. So as I have already discussed the items in detail with you, when we were talking about the different types of items, I spoke about the inventory items, non-inventory items, payments, service items, and the assembly items. So here the assembly items are not enabled in the system, and that is the reason you don't see them here. Let us try and check that out 1 second. What feature we need to enable for the service items? Service comes as part of the bundle, so that is fine. It will be enabled by default. So no need to enable here. Looks like the manufacturing bundle itself is not there in the system. We'll see this one second. So I have enabled a few more items now. Like if you see, you have the inventory item groups, kits, non-inventory items, other charge items, service items, and subtotals. But for the manufacturing, you need to have a different bundle actually. So that bundle is not a part of what we have now. This is the WWD standard bundle that we have where I was at the distribution. Let us see. Manufacturing is. Fortunately, we're not able to enable the manufacturing part. That is not a part of the core structure, but I just wanted to show you the items and how these things would be. But looks like we cannot enable them. So when you go back to the items, this is how you go into when you click on a new item, this is how it actually looks like. So to create and what you see here, for non-inventory items, you have something called as for purchase, for resale, and for sale. So what this means is in a few organizations, there might be a few items that we just purchase. But these items are not sold, like probably, nuts and bolts or some raw material which is actually used in the making of a manufacturing item. So what we do is this raw material we just purchase from a vendor, but the nuts and bolts are, small. Any item which is actually configured, that is called as a bill of material. So let me take one real-time scenario for you. Now let us say we are the same example that we usually consider. Let us say we are manufacturing a Beamer Bevo car. Now that is your assembly item. The main car is would actually become your assembly item. Yes. And then under this assembly item, you will have a bill of material which is called as BOM. This is called bill of material. So to manufacture my Beamer car, I need a lot of material like a ready-made steering. 4 wheels, 4 seats, 4 seatbelts, gear system. So on. I mean, you would need a lot more, probably like 20 to 25 bill of materials to actually assemble your Beamer car. So you might have your steering, you might have your wheels and all these things. So now these materials, sometimes we actually buy them, but we are not selling them directly. I mean, we don't sell the steering, which we don't sell sell the wheels, and we don't sell the seats individually. We actually buy them from somewhere. We assemble them as part of a car, and then we sell the entire car. So when you say Whenever you create an item for purchase, if you click on this, it will take you to non-inventory item for purchase form. So on this form, you can actually create your items. So when you create non-inventory item for purchase, this item will be available only on the purchase order for selection. It will not be available for selection on a sales order because we are not selling this item individually. Correct? So that is the reason it is created as a non-inventory item for purchase. Likewise, if you click on this for sale now, this particular item will be available on a sale order only. It will not be available on a purchase order. So what I suggest that you create when you are doing the testing, you create one non-inventory item for purchase and see if that is available on a sales order. That is the testing that you have to perform. Because if you create only for purchase, it should not be available on a sale order and create a non-inventory item for purchase. First is purchase. And then it should not be available on a sales order. Next is for sale. You will create a non-inventory item for sale and check if this is available for purchase. I mean, on a purchase order, this particular item should not be available. And then you have a resale option. There's something called as resale. So there are 3 different types of items that you can create. So when you create a resale item, this particular item should be available for purchase and for sale also, which means on a purchase order, you will be able to select and then do an item receipt. You can take the item into the warehouse or you can actually, do a sale order also. So you can put this item on a sale order and fulfill the item to sell the item as well. So that is what your resale is all about. Do you have any questions on the purchase, sale and resale options that you see here? Can you just see one non-inventory item? Just one non-inventory item, like the way we are putting the prices, how we are feeling. Can you just show me one? I will create an item and I'll show you how things work. But do you have any questions in the purchase, resale or sale? No, sir. I will create an inventory item and I'll show you how that works. I will show that to you, but I'm just explaining the different types of items that you are able to see here. Yes. So that is about your non-inventory item for purchase, resale and sale. Same is the case for other charge items as well. You know there might be some items which are not invent priced that you know we do not have them in the inventory. However, we can actually, do the same thing with the other charge items as well, wherein you purchase, resale or sale. Same as the case for. So now what I'll do is, let's create the inventory item. So I clicked on new item for now. I have already shown you how to create the item through a CSV import. So today we will see how the item is created manually for us. Yes. Sir. One second. You can hear me, sir? I can hear you. So when you create an item, you can actually create this as a sub-item of any other item as well. So this becomes a child item of, one of the items over there. And then what is this? If you select parent company and include children, this actually indicates that you are making this item available throughout the subsidiaries, which means I have like 6 or 7 subsidiaries here. So when I click on parent company and include children, I can use this item across all the subsidiaries that I have. But inventory items, the location will be only one place, sir, but all the subsidy, how can they use? Location is different. Subsidiary is different. I got it. And you are not defining the location at the item level. You can actually take the location here and select what is the location. However, on the purchase order, whenever you are creating a purchase order, there is a location option over there. So when you select a location there, let us say you have 10 locations. And when you are creating a purchase order, if you select a location 1, 2, 3, 4 locations on 4 different purchase orders, then on each purchase order the item will be received at 4 different locations. Whatever quantity, the first purchase order can be 10 quantity. Second can be 20 quantity for a different location, 30 quantity for a different location. What I was saying was the locations are actually defined at the purchase order level and not at the item level. Sorry, I think I got it. So you add on the purchase order on 4 different purchase orders, you can define 4 different locations wherein each location can receive certain amount of items. So I think, and what is a vendor name code? So the vendor name code is now, let us say I'm creating an item which is called as our crane. Some crane, JCB that we are actually creating an item for. Now this particular tower crane, maybe the vendor calls it as JCB crane. He doesn't call it as tower crane. So you can actually specify what the vendor calls this particular item in the company as a JCB crane. So you can specify that over here. Then select the department, the class locations. Everything can be selected. To which class does this item belong to and what is the location for this particular item. All this can be selected over here. And then units type. We have already discussed multiple units type already. You know the letters, not the area. But what we'll do is we will select weight maybe. So you have multiple units of measure. The primary stock unit. So whenever we buy this material, let us say instead of the JCB, what we'll do is we will, buy some metal, like a radium or, some metal that we are buying. Let us say, so this particular metal that we are buying from a vendor, when I buy it, the primary stock unit, when I buy it, the primary stock unit, I'm saying is kilograms. So when I buy it from a vendor, I buy it in kilograms. But when I stock it in the warehouse, I store it in pounds. And when I want to sell it, I want to sell it in grams. So all these can actually be created. If you remember the multiple units of measure I have shown you, when we go into the accounting, there is something called as ohm. This is called multiple units of measure. And this is where we can actually define each of it for weight. If you see, I can go into the weight and the conversion rates are already defined. That 1 pound is equal to 2.2 g and that 2.2 kg is, 200 grams for us. So this conversion is already maintained in the system. So only when you maintain this conversion in the system, you will be able to see this, primary unit, the stock unit and all these things. And you can also, select an image of this particular item. If you have that in your file cabinet, you can select an image. and then do it now. This form that you see over here, if you click on this, this is a form which is a custom form which is there, but I want to create a standard inventory part form, not a custom form. So this is how it looks like. And then what I was saying, primary units type is my weight. Stock unit is pounds, purchasing in kilograms and selling in grams. So like that, likewise I can actually do it. So I can include my children, which I've already explained. Select your any department we are doing for engineering because that's some metal, maybe class B. My warehouse is nothing but your location, which somebody must have renamed it. So that is how you create an item. And then first, what we'll do is let us save this item. And then we will see the other fields that we have, because usually what happens is if you're on the same screen for a very long time, then it actually goes off. I mean, it says refresh and everything. So let me save this item for you first, and then we'll go back to the item and I'll show you the other fields that we have over there. I saved this item now. So let me open the item back in. So when I edit this item again, there are different tabs on an item recording. You have sales pricing. You have purchasing, inventory, accounting related records. You see this tab. So these are your sales, purchase and all these options. So when I select, let me show you something. When I select something on an inventory item, and let us say I create a new item and I'm trying to do a purchase, if I do for purchase, you will see that the sales tab is not there. Do you see it here? You only have purchasing, accounting, communication preferences and all these things, but the sales tab is not there. So if you go back, if I click on sale for sale, I will not see the purchase tab in there. So likewise, if I go to resale, when I click on resale, then both the options will be there, sales and purchasing. So let's go back to the list let's go back to the item that I have created. So under the sales tab, you can give different items. So the item we have, the resale. So all inventory items are resale only. There is nothing called a sale purchase for inventory items, only for non-inventory items or only for other charged items. You have that option. So you can maintain different descriptions for purchase and for sale as well. So like this, I say this is a sale description. Minimum quantity is if you specify this as 10 kgs or 10 pounds, L basis pounds for that matter. So if you specify a minimum quantity here, you will not be able to save a sales order with 9 quantity. The minimum quantity that you have to order is 10. That is your minimum quantity that you can specify. And on the shipping and all, you can specify what is your shipping cost. You know what is your handling cost over here. Those things can be specified over there. And then I have discussed about the quantity pricing schedule already. Oh, is it not there? I don't know why, but I'll explain this manually. So let us say from 0 to 10, I will give one quantity. From 20, I'll give another one. 30. I'll give another one till 40 is there. So I can define a base price for this item, as you know. Let us say $100. So these are already defined. I have discussed about this already, that you can define the percentages on this alternate price 1, 2 and 3, and that will get calculated automatically. So till 9 quantity, the price will be 100. So once the customer is ordering more than 10, then the price should be 95, I say, and then 90, and then 85, and then 80. As the quantity increases, we can decrease the amount so that it becomes a discount for them. Likewise, you can actually do that in the Australian dollar as well. Same thing can be specified over here. All these things can be maintained even in different currencies for British pound, Canadian dollar, and all these things. So if you want to define a quantity pricing schedule automatically, then you will have to go into accounting and then quantity pricing schedules and new. So here you can specify what is your quantity pricing schedule. I can define new quantity pricing. And then I can say to 10 quantity, I'm going to have a discount of minus 10%. And then 20 quantity, I'm going to have a discount of, let's say, 15%. Till 30 quantity, I'm going to have a discount of 18%. And then 40 around 20%. So this is how you can actually, define. Hold on, I think we'll have to put in a minus because this will increase it. Minus n. This will be minus 18 and this will be minus 15. So when you define it like this and save, I have saved my quantity pricing schedule. So let's go back to the inventory item that we have. Refresh the page. And when I scroll down to the sales tab, here I can select my quantity pricing schedule. Why is it not coming? Let us see. Oh, it's already here. It is not inactive. Use matching rights. Let's close this. We'll go into the inventory item again. Let's edit this. Oh, so strange. Why are we not getting the quantity pricing schedule? We should get it. So what I'm trying to do now is I have defined a quantity pricing schedule automatically, and then we have to get this. It is not inactive or something, but why am I selecting price sets? Use marginal rates and calculate quantity disconfluence. Everything is fine. Let's go back to an existing item. Let's see the quantity. Pricing is available on this. One second. Oh, it is available for this. Why it's not available for the one that we created? I think it's because of that 1 second. So strange. What is the difference? Let me explain on this. I'll see why we are not able to get on that. Is it because of the types? I don't know. So, if you see, I have created this quantity pricing schedule. So if I click on this, you will see that the quantity is updated automatically with the percentages that I have defined -10, -15, 18 and 20. So here I just have to specify what my base price is and automatically everything gets calculated depending on what we have selected over there. Now the reason why alternate price 1, 2 and 3, these things are blank. The reason behind that is, if you're going to set up accounting and accounting lists, there is something called as pricing, price levels. So alternate price, if you see the alternate price and all are actually blank, they have not defined any discount percentages for them. And that is the reason you're not able to see them. So now what I'll do is I'll say -2% for this. Let's save it. Here it is -1 cent. And then here it is -0.5%. So if I go back to my inventory item again and refresh, and then when you scroll down and select your quantity pricing schedule, and here you see the -2, -1.5, everything got updated. So all I have to do is give my base price and everything gets calculated automatically. Any questions on this? So this is how you define the sales price. Now what happens is on a sale order, when you are specifying the quantity as 10, so it just double ticker, it takes this price. Yeah. It takes the, if you can select the price levels again, you can select alternate price, one alternate price. Two levels can be selected, but by default the base price will be selected as 90. If you select the quantity from 10 to 20, and if the quantity is from 20 to 30, it becomes 85. If it is from 30 to 40, then it becomes 80. That is how the base price will be selected. Any questions on this? So that is about your sales tab. You can specify what is your sales price, including your, different currencies and different things that you can specify. Now coming to your purchasing tab. If you go into the purchasing tab, you can specify what will be the purchase price. So you can specify a different description for this item that you have purchased. Stock description can be there. And the last purchase price, this automatically gets updated. if you create a purchase order, if you create a purchase order for this item, it will automatically update the last purchase price which is there on that particular item. And then, so these are the differences that are vendor bill differences I spoke about. There is a three-way bill match that we can create for purchases, and the tolerances can be defined over here. So if there is a difference between vendor bill and purchase order quantity tolerance, I've already discussed about this when we were doing the subsidiaries and when we were doing the vendors. So the same thing applies to the items as well. So vendor bill, purchase order, quantity tolerance. Whenever we say tolerance, if you specify 0.1, then that is a percentage, like 10% of it. Vendor bill, purchase order amount, difference amount, tolerance, actually but 10%. What I'm saying is, if there is a difference between my vendor bill and purchase order quantity up to 10%, then it has to trigger an approval which goes to the supervisor. Likewise, you can actually specify what is the quantity difference. Even if there is a one quantity difference, then it has to go to a supervisor, is what we are saying. Anywhere you see the tolerance, that is in percentage. Anywhere you see the quantity difference, that is a number. So this vendor bill and item receipt quantity, if there is a difference of at least one quantity between the vendor bill and item receipt, if it is more than the tolerance which is defined here, then it will go for an approval. That is called a three-way bill match approval. So I spoke about the dropship items and special order items. So this particular item can either be a dropship item or a special order item. Now, what is a dropship item? If there are big items, we were talking about the tower, cranes and all which we cannot buy and keep in our inventory. So if you select this item as a dropship item, what happens is when you create a sale order for this item, then the system automatically triggers a purchase order for this item. And then the vendor directly ships out the material to the customer. That is what is your dropship item all about. So dropship item is that a vendor will ship the material to the customer directly. It does not come into our inventory. It does not come into our warehouse, but it is shipped directly from the vendor place to the customer place. That is what is a dropship item. Now, when you're doing a special order item, this item is also not inventorized. It will not be the inventory. However, when you create a sales order, it automatically creates a purchase order for this. And then we receive the material into our warehouse and then it is shipped out from the warehouse. So do you understand the difference between a dropship item and special order item? Yes. And this is a track landed cost. If you want to specify certain landed cost on an item, then you have to do this. I've already shown you that this has to be maintained for sure. So now wait, did you mention the purchase price, sir? The purchase price. Here it is there. But how do we know how much we are purchasing? The quantity is specified on a purchase order. Do not get confused. This is an item that we are creating. An item is just a master data. That's it. The quantity will be specified only on the purchase order or on a sale order. The purchase quantity is specified on the purchase order, not on the item level. When you're creating a purchase, whenever you're creating a purchase order, that is when you will specify the quantity, not on the item level. There is nothing that you can specify on the item level. Thank you. So let us save this. So whenever you specify this as a dropship item, then you have to specify the vendor as well. Now, the reason behind that is the system has to create a purchase order automatically. Correct. So to do that, you have to specify what is your preferred vendor for that particular item. Only then you can actually define it as a dropship item. I have saved that. So if we go back to this item again, scroll down. So this is how your items are created, and then coming to the accounting tab. So if you remember, when I was setting up the accounting preferences, if you go into setup accounting and accounting preferences, if you scroll down, so on the accounting preferences, we have specified what account belongs to what type. If you go into your order management, on the items and transaction, see the purchase discount account. By default, I'm saying that this has to be discount. So if you go back to your inventory item, I have not selected all these accounts. But where are they coming from? They are defaulted from the accounting preferences. So if I say what is my income account? So let's come here and then we'll see income account. 4010 revenue sales is my income account. That is what is specified here. What is my asset account? You see this 1200 inventories. This is my default asset account, which comes on the item by default. So what I am trying to tell you is if there are 100 items that you are creating and on the accounting preferences, you have specified all these accounts here. Defaulted all these accounts here. So on these 100 items, you don't have to select them manually. Everything gets defaulted from these preferences that you have here. So that is what the use of the preference is all about. And well, you can ask me, where exactly can I get this information from? What is a COGS account? What is an asset account? When you create those accounts, the customer will tell you what to select in these preferences. When you are doing the, personalization sessions, the customers will tell you what are the accounts that you have to select them here. You don't have to do them for the customer. The customer's accounting team will let you know how exactly to do this. Any questions on this? That's great. So all these accounts that you have, intercompany COGS account, intercompany income account, everything can be defaulted. Even the quantity variance account. All these things can be defaulted over there. As of now, I think the quantity variance account is not there, and that is the reason you're not getting it here. So I'll show you something. Quantity variance account is blank. That's the reason it is not defaulted over there. You can select a quantity variance account as inventory, in stock account or something. And if you do this, and when you're trying to create an item next time, then automatically it gets defaulted for a new item. Let us see. Let us go ahead and click on New. And then if you go into the accounting, everything will be selected by default. You see this. All these things are selected by default because we have specified that at the accounting preferences page. Any questions on that? And then you have the related records. You have related records. Communication system information. System information is available on all the records. What is system information? Whatever changes you make on an item, it will be visible automatically. I have changed the pricing. I have changed the preferred vendor. I changed dropship item from false to true. I changed use marginal rates and I gave quantity pricing schedule as new quantity. Plake landed cost is false. I mean true from false. I have specified what is the purchase price and all these things that I have done. Now you are able to see them here. Correct. And who has made that change? And what is the date and time that change was made? All will be visible over here. Do you have any questions for me on this? Thank you. So likewise, if you go back to your items again, click on new item. I'm trying to show you a a matrix item, how a matrix item is created. Do you know what is a matrix item? We already discussed about this. We discussed about the matrix items. Do you remember that? I saw different size, different colors. Correct. That's so how did you create the matrix item? We'll see that. So this is how you create your matrix item. So what I've done now is I have created a shirt. So view item record. If I click on this, So this is a new matrix test item that I have created. So if you scroll down, on the accounting tab, so this is how the items are actually created. These are 4 different items which are created. One is a black shirt. One is a blue shirt. One is a green shirt and one is a red shirt. So these are 4 different items for me. I can open them in 4 different tabs actually. So there is a B-tem and it is a sub-item of whatever I've created and everything can be done. So if you scroll down, you can specify different prices for each of them. So you can specify this. I just specified this as B, but you can specify this as more as well. As a blue shirt, red shirt, and all these descriptions can be given so that they are visible. So an inventory item is created in such a way. The matrix item is created in such a way that you will be able to see all these things. And that is how your matrix list actually appears. These are 4 different items that you have created under the same matrix item. So, and likewise, you can actually define more as well. Like, black XL shirt, black L shirt, black S, blue M, blue SS, blue L XL, and likewise. So all these items can be defined automatically through that matrix item assistant that I have shown to you a little while ago. So I suggest that you go into that matrix item thing and try to create your own items on, just like the way I have done now. I think now I can hear you. So you understood how I created the matrix item. Yes. So please, what I suggest is just, try and practice creating these matrix items and few items of your choice. Like, black under the black. Again, you can create, black XL, black L, black S, black M. Like all these things can be created with different items on this matrix thing. Any questions on that? So you can create your own list of matrix. So if you see, I have a color, the shirts. This is the one that I have created now, and then I have the size as well. So, this is the same list that I know probably is available there as well. But if you create the, items manually, one is Matrix Assistant that I have shown you, which is this, or you can create a matrix items as well. So where does the matrix list that we have it? There is. We should be having a matrix list somewhere that we create. The list is not visible for us, but so if you click on this, create matrix items, you will be able to create like this. So I'm selecting this, and when I scroll down, I go into the accounting. So that's more texty bold. Scroll down a bit and I say I can actually select my color. And then I can select my shirts, my size. Actually, let's say I select the size small, medium, all these things. And then I can save it. Create matrix. Once I do that, see all these things will be created, which is blue BXS size, blue BS size, blue BM size, blue GX, gray GS, gray GM. So like that, all these items will be created automatically. Blue small, medium, large and all these things. Mass update performed. So if you scroll down now, you will see all these items as matrix items go into accounting tab. And this is how the items are created. Make blue, medium blue, small, blue extra small, gray, medium gray, small gray, extra small, red. And all these are different items that have been created automatically from the list that I have created. Any questions on this? All. So this is the entire items list. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.